All right, check it out. I've already got an example of where I'm going to use Generative Fill. So I've got a photo here that someone has used the long version, that ultra panoramic ratio for a photo, and I could zoom right in on this lady to make her fit where I wanted to, but really that's just like way too big. It's going to freak people out when I turn to that page. So let's see what we can do with AI, Generative Fill. I'd like to get it back to like this size, something like that. But I'm going to need to create some extra information on the edges of that photo. So I'm opening Photoshop Beta already. And I'll use the raw file there and see what we can do. So I have my crop tool. Yep, I got crop. And from this drop down menu, I'm going to go Generative Expand. Might just go this way. Oh, I can try both ways, see what it does. See if I can make an arm for her. And put a bit more extra info over there. And it says, what do you want to generate? I'm not going to write anything. I'm going to let it figure it out. So let's see what it can come up with. And it should give me 3 options. And if I don't like any of those 3, I can make it run again. So let's see what happens. It's sending this photo to the cloud and they look for images. Well, it did a pretty good job recreating her arm, didn't it? Now here are my options here, so I can go to different ones. That kind of looks better. I don't know about the word here. That's the problem. It's made up another letter for the word. But I like this. Oh, that's pretty good too. But this is not, like, this is background noise basically. And my text box will probably go over the top of that. Change the shape of the text box on my template and use this spot. So you're not going to really look at that and say, what is that? So I wonder if you can use a combination. Like, I like this, how it left the letter, but I prefer, say, that or that. So let's select that. Okay, and what if I can make a copy and then change it to that? Yeah, that works. So what I've done is I used that layer and then I created a copy of that layer and changed it to the other option. So what I'm going to do is this top one has the words that I want and her arm's pretty good. So I'm going to mask the rest of that out. If I look at the mask, alt click, I want to keep that part but delete the rest. So I'll get my marquee and make that black too. That work? Yeah, so I've kept this version on this side, but kept the bottom version there. That's pretty good. So what I would do there, I don't want to really change that later, so I'm just going to flatten it. Layer, flatten image, and I'm going to save it as, maybe I'll say AI, just so I know that I added extra info with AI. Okay. And now I have to take this back into regular Photoshop because this is the beta of Photoshop and all my preferences are only in the other version. So, all my palettes and everything are like the basic setup in the beta. It doesn't copy over your preferences. So I'm going to pause here and open the real Photoshop. Okay, we're in the current stable version of Photoshop. I'm going to drag in my AI altered image. So all the palettes and everything are how I like them, and my shortcuts are there, so I can use everything that I usually use. Now with my altered image, I'm going to just do regular processing, so get it nice and sharp. I'm going to open Adobe Camera Raw. First thing I'm going to do is kind of bring some sharpness to the texture and bring the shadows up a little bit. It's pretty good already. And maybe brighten it a bit, just touching the contrast and a few other bits and pieces, which you wouldn't have to do if you were just doing a black and white photo. I'm going to make the color a bit more vibrant and back and forward to see the difference. It's pretty good. Then I will run my Pan-Scott action over the top of that, so it's going to sharpen it. All those other standard things. Sharpen. I don't change a lot of this unless it's something really wrong with it. And I don't need it that big. I don't want a big file, so I'm just going to say 20 centimeters wide, which is still more than I need. And save a copy. And it'll be AI copy. All right. Let's go back to InDesign. We can delete that because she doesn't fit. Drag it directly into my frame. All right, we got everything I wanted in that image. She's not too big. She's not jumping off the page. She wouldn't like that either. If you saw herself in the paper that big, like a quarter of a page, really up close, she probably wouldn't like that. So now here I would get the frame the size that I want, or the height that I want. Bring that in a bit. And then I would double click on this point over here to suck it in as far as it can go. It might be, yeah, look, that worked out pretty well. Then I'll do Control-Alt-C to adjust it from the bottom. And it's pretty good. What do you reckon? I might just make that the same size. Alright, so we now have a photo that fits and it doesn't suddenly end, and she's got a fake arm. I wonder if she knows that's not really her arm. But look, you wouldn't know, right? No one else would know either. She wouldn't even know. Okay, so there we go. We used AI to solve a layout issue with a photo that didn't fit the space. It's going to be good when this is part of the official release of Photoshop, and we can fall back on that whenever we need a photo adjusted or extended. It's going to be pretty cool.